Hi guys, it's XJ9 here again, and yeah, this is the next patch notes, and I'm a bit sick right now. Still, I've been sick for the past week, so I might cough, and I probably will. So if I do, just excuse it, please. Like I'll try not to. Okay, I'll even try to mute my mic. But yeah, hopefully I get better because there's been a really bad virus or something. Because I've never been this sick in ages. Okay. So I would try to make this one quick as usual. Anything to say? No, no, okay. No. No, I didn't. So we're just gonna look. I did look at this. Ugh. So yeah, new champion. I mean, again, can't really say anything unless he actually gets played. Like all the point is even talking about the numbers and anything. So don't worry about it. We'll see what happens with him. First change was the Kali. Remove the hitbox behind her and less minion damage. So first off, a lot of people didn't even use that hitbox thing. I've sort of looked into it because again, I didn't really know about it because I don't really saw people even utilize it because it was a pro play thing, and even then it's a very niche thing. And I mean that's sort of like extra power that shouldn't even be there, so that's fine. But they also did nerf her right off the bat with the less minion damage, so I mean, I think that's fine. So, I mean, she'll still be played. I mean, I don't think that's a terrible nerf or anything like that. So this patch is actually very exciting for tanks. Like, I like playing tanks a lot because they deal a lot of damage despite people thinking they don't. It's because people tend to feed with them before they finish their Cinder Hulk or at least their Cinder thingy, Brawny Cinder or whatever it's called. And I think as long as you know your power spikes as tank, which a lot of people don't, you're fine. Uh, the Q cooldown is lower, so now it has the same cooldown. I'm at rank 5, but bandage toss is something that people would usually max second or third, and the fact that it's because before it would be you would only have it at a lower rank at level like 8 uh, at the soonest. Or people sometimes would even max it just because of the cooldown. But I think with this buff, people won't feel so inclined to max out the Q. Sorry, I hit that camera. So that's good. Brahm's getting huge buffs in general. Like there's like, oh well, we're making it. I don't know. Pretty much, you're gonna see a lot more Brahm. Tons more HP, 11 more HP per level. That's insane. Zero point 0.5 more health regen. Cooldown on this on his W is lower. A really good mana cost to encourage like using it freely instead of thinking about it twice, and also doesn't punish you for maxing it. Second, resistance to ally is actually a bit lower, but it's not like the biggest deal. And the big thing as well is that it's a flat 12% because before to get 11.5 you have to rank at 1, so it's sort of a buff in a way, but as the game goes on it's a nerf, but it's a very small nerf. But in exchange he got a ridiculous buff on himself. He gets, instead of 10 to 60% resistances, he gets 10 to 36 bonus resistances, which is no. He gets. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sick, so I'm hallucinating. Okay. He now gets 36% bonus resistances. Okay. Glacial Fissure now that deals a bit more damage mid and late game. That doesn't really matter. The big point is that the first target hit, as long as it's a little distance away. Not sure how far, but I'm guessing maybe even the max range. That's quite. I mean, probably like you know it's very hard to talk with this because like it starts coming up and then like you start like ugh. But pretty much, I mean we can't really know the range, but I mean that's a big buff to like singling out a target, which makes it a bit more skillful to use. Uh, Probably the bit more minor change though. Like it's probably good to use as a follow up. Like after, for instance, if you hit a Q on someone, someone mini stun them like your AD carry into ult. That can be a huge combo for a death combo. So it's sort of like Leona, but with a skill shot. The counterplay to it, of course, would be someone go in front of it or dodge it. Uh, Diana Chain's very interesting because again, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that her R is now her E, and her E is now her R, but except her new R, which is her old E, now gives like this AOE nuke after a second. So I was gonna say what I thought about this, but let's just talk about it. So her mana went up by like pretty much 50 flat mana, mana growth up by 5, and attack damage went up a bit, which helps jungle. Any attack damage or attack speed helps a lot. Uh, New passive 10 to 40% bonus attack speed, 1 to 18, and now the like that's her passive. And now casting ability triples the attack speed Dana gives gains from Moon Silver Blade for 3 seconds. Before it used to be based on your E ring, so sometimes you would only have your E at level 3 or 4. So sometimes you wouldn't even get an attack speed bonus. I think didn't really play Diana. I sort of did, but I think that's how it worked. And so that's a good buff. Every third strike cleaves instead of giving mana. It does the same flat damage. However, they did nerf her damage by from 0.8 ability power ratio to 0.4 under passive. So again, like that's gonna be a big thing we're gonna see here. Is there was huge damage nerf. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do. I feel like they're being very safe with these changes. Q, Crescent Strike. Mana cost down by 5. W, cooldown from 10 seconds all ranks to 15, 13, 12, 10, 9. That's quite a big nerf. Because you might even max your E in some cases, which is your new R, right? Gosh. So I mean, maybe that's just make it more. I mean, it's a big nerf to the early game, like based off the cooldown. But maybe you'll max that second still. Who really knows? Maybe first, but probably not. Base shield, it is lower, I think. Yeah, it's lower by like pretty much like 20 each rank. And orb damage ratio from 0.2. Yeah, no, yeah. So the total ability power ratio went from 0.6 to 0.45. So yeah, it's a tiny bit nerf. The new change, which is interesting, is the zero point 0.1 health bonus. Uh, Total 0.2. Once it gets consumed. So it makes you so if you build items like rod or abyssal mask, it can actually benefit you. Lunar rush cooldown, it's went down on all ranks essentially because even level 1 it's 22 instead of 25, down to 14, so 1 second sooner. And mana cost went down as well, 40 to 60 instead of 50 to 80. The damage went down a lot, so like that's the big thing here is that her damage got gutted. So I don't know how I feel about this because I feel like they pretty much gutted her damage. Like let me just finish first. So yeah, the ratio went from zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.4, huge nerf. Her damage on E went way down. Her new ultimate, which is her E, the cooldown is 100 to 80 seconds. From like 26 because it's the ultimate. Mana cost is now 100 from 70. The slow is better though, which is like something. And so pretty much if she pulls in a champion or more, uh, there's Moonlight crashes after 1 second, dealing 200, 300, 400 damage, or and zero point 0.6 ability power ratio in an area around her, increased by 35, 60, 85.15 ability power ratio for each target beyond the first pull. So like I feel like all her things got nerfed in exchange for this big ultimate, and it really depends how it pans out because like these changes would be really good if if this was like season 2 or 3 or something like that when she came out, because that was the whole combo meta where people pick like a Moon Moon, people would pick Oriana Hecarim and do big combos. So in general, like her, I'm not sure about how her clear speed would be, but it is a big nerf. But I mean, she can eat at things, and there's a bit of a choice. Like the one thing I do like is that there's a bit of a choice between what you want to max. Like, oh, do you want to have a short cooldown in your ultimate ability, which is her E now, or her dash, or do you want to be a bit tankier? Hmm, what's the damage on this again? Damage ratio. Where's the base damage? They didn't show the base damage on this. I don't know why they didn't show the base damage. They don't show the base shield. Unless it's literally just. I don't even know. I don't know about that. That's a bit weird. But I just feel like in exchange for giving her the dash right away at level 2 at the earliest for combo, and and her old passive, like her passive feels better and more mana and base stats. They just got everything and made her, it gave her a lot of power to roll. So it really depends on how people will play Diana, and if she's like really safe, if she's really good at. Because the thing is, she doesn't have a slow anymore to gank. Like, yeah, she can gank, but she doesn't have that slow until she's 6. So it's sort of like a double edged sword, as in, like, yeah, she has a dash now, but now she doesn't have her slow. Like her big like pull, because the pull was like sort of a knock up type of thing. Like, because you would pull them and it would float in the air a bit. Bless. And I mean, again, this is one of those changes. Like, get to see how it pans out. I think these are very reserved changes. Like, they don't want to make her broken. So that's good. I think it's better if it's champion weak than strong. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see some minor buffs to her, even the buffs to like maybe even just make her like tanky or something like that. Like I like that. I like health ratios on like encouraging like a more tanky playstyle because like they want Diana was designed to be like a a mage who's in there and fights, not someone who just one shots you like a Kali or something. So I think it's sort of like she's getting tuned up like Silas, where like they're doing very small changes to see like how it works. Is I Riot's very inexperienced when it comes to AP bruisers because it's hard to get that balance, especially when they keep making damage really high. But I mean, again, like I said, like this season, like I think the damage got lowered by like or the snowballing rather. So yeah, just wait. Garen pretty much all happened was he got nerfed. Like the attack speed scales by 5%. You need 5% more attack speed to get one more spin, and the spin damage is lower. Uh, so like per level. So I do think it's funny because they're like, oh, biggest winner on the Conqueror changes. Well, it's not just that. It's that you got rid of the villain mechanic, put power in other parts of his kit, and then on top of that, made Conqueror work. So I don't understand why was the point of the rework when you could have just made Conquer work. So I don't know about that. I mean, this is good, but it's just like funny. Like, who didn't see that coming, guys? Karma E, shield increase, space shield. I don't know. First thing, Karma's a pain in the ass, honestly. Yeah, she's just a pain in the ass, and I mean, when people see this change, they don't go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna play AP Karma." No, they're gonna play that really annoying tank Karma bullshit. That's like cancer. Cassidy. Apparently, Cassidy's broken and stuff. So, uh, I mean, I'm surprised Cassidy hasn't been reworked, considering his kit's really like it's either he's not fun at all to play against or underpowered. And pretty much all he did was instead of having a flat Q cooldown, which is 9 seconds, it's now 11 to 9 seconds. Mana restored from 4 to 8% of missing mana to 4 to 6% missing mana. Quadrupled in champions. Ramus got a huge buff, so he gets 9 more HP per level, which is insane. Which is insane. So that's pretty nice. And his E taunt is now actually will scale. So if you do max your taunt second, which I believe you're supposed to be doing, or maybe even first, it depends on your playstyle. If you want max W, but this is nice because it probably felt really garbage not getting anything from it, and I mean changing the E cooldown also makes him able to actually tank. Because what makes you a tank is being able to help your allies get aggro, make them focus you. That's a tank. Rise is getting a nerf. I mean, guys, who didn't? I mean, if you read my Twitter, Facebook, I always say I don't know why Rise was even buffed. It was like, and someone's like, oh well, Figure said he's underpowered. Well, maybe he's just saying that just so he becomes broken because Rise is one of his favorite champions. Base damage. From 80 to 180 to 65 to 165. Good nerf. Maybe it wasn't enough though. Who knows? Senna got absolutely obliterated in the AD carry role and even in support in some ways. So, 10 HP less per level, insane. Uh, this is the big one. Missed race drop chance from 5.55% to 1.67%. That's literally, I believe, he's pretty much a 60% nerf. And you knows, guys. What else? Q lower damage, 10 less damage, flat, and zero point 0.1 lower ratio. Her W root duration is 0.2 lower at rank 1, and then 0.15, 0.10, 0.5, and then the same at max rank. And her R is actually had an ability power increase ratio on the damage, not the shield. That's very important. But they always read about these type of changes because she has a heal and damaging aspect or shielding. So this was just a more damage, like when she builds Athenes to help support because they did completely like gut AD carry. Server plus 2 AD, very game breaking. You know, the Yuumi changes are interesting. I think they're actually very, I think they're very good changes. Based off what I read before, I don't know if they may change things. This is something I skimmed over like a week ago. Now restores 50 to 1 to 6 stream mana. So they brought that back. Base shield 50 to 300, and now it's 60 to 400. So now you get way more for detaching and attacking, but it's only like pretty much late laning phase or late game. It doesn't really impact the laning phase that much. Oh no, it was actually 50 to 300, and now it's 60 to 400. Her Q her cost was 75 to 100 mana. Now it's 85 to 110. So a bit more of an increase, but I mean it's probably because she gets some mana back now to encourage the attaching. Damage ratio went down by from 0.45 to 0.3. And power damage went from 50 to 225 with a 0.65 ratio to 50 to 275 with a 0.4 ratio. So it's pretty much to encourage her to build like more supporting items that I could punish her building like actual support items and get rid of this whole damage Yuumi doing a billion damage. Missed duration from 3 to 2 seconds. I agree with that because that missile like you could dodge it, but then you have to dodge it again, and it was just really oppressive. So again, that was a really good change. Um, Now the channel time of 25 seconds when attaching from an unattached state. I'm not sure if she can move or like I mean like she probably has to like just like look for a little a bit before going. So I mean that's good. Yumi no longer teleports with her anchor with when it attached. So that's I mean it's a nerf. It's I guess pretty big, but I don't think people utilize that much. Mobilizing Yumi places her W on a 5 second cooldown, so if she gets caught out or, you know, she detaches and autos and fails to reattach, you get punished. So, really, like, because the thing people need to realize is that this is a really big change because you can punish a Yumi really easily now. Because, for instance, like, the really oppressing thing before would be Yumi. I don't know what it was actually. would be Yuumi just auto attacking you, getting her mana and a shield for her ally. But now, like, if you see the AD carry getting close, you can sort of expect the Yuumi to go in auto. It's not like her auto's instant or anything. Plus, there's a channel. So if she's trying to do that, you can just, flesh flay or Alistair combo her, and she'll probably just die, because she'll be immobilized. So you have to play very safe, honestly, and like you need to like get like very sneaky auto attacks, like not be attached to your ally and just roam around. Wait, 1 second. It used to be 5 to 13. When she was attached to someone, it used to be 5 to 13 adaptive force, 4 to 60% of their respective adaptive force. Now it's 12 to 20, eh, uh, and 12 to 20% of her allies' adaptive force. So that's a big buff as well. So I mean, I don't know. It's pretty much putting more power onto who she's attached to rather than you know being a repressive, leaning bully. Yes, I believe so. There's some reading something wrong. Yeah, I'm reading it right. The big thing too is that you don't need a max because you have this rank. One of this gives essentially rank like 4 of her W's in when you attach someone like right now level this would be ranked 1, and if you attached to an ally you would have essentially before this change a level 4 version of this. So that's pretty insane. So I mean 12 adaptive that just helps autoing a lot. So like even champions with like really good AD ratio. So in a way, she's sort of like being, maybe even more of an aggressive, like she wants to be in with those high AD champions like Draven and stuff. Her E now grants 25 to 40% tank speed to herself or the anchor target. So again, that's insane. Like again, like she's I think these changes are to make her more aggressive in lane, make her instead of like just someone just stands there and heals, and so that's good. No longer stocks charges, so there's no more charges. So yeah. No longer increases Yumi's healing based on the target's missing HP. So I pretty much just use it whenever, and like if you want to heal or use it to give attack speed. So timing can be pretty crucial. Healing went from 30 to 70 to 70 to 230, bigger AP ratio. But again, the reason is because it's no longer increased by missing HP. Cooldown from 18 to 14 seconds to 12 to 8. That's fine. It's just balancing based off the charge system. Cost 30 to 70. Now it's 100 160 man. Yeah, it's very expensive because I mean again that's a huge 25 attack speed is insane. So yeah, huge mana cost, but that's fine. I mean 100 mana for 25. Movement speed 25% decays over time to 15% no longer decays over time. Probably just makes it easier to like if you go in like because sometimes people don't expect that huge movement speed, so having the flat speed makes it so they can like go in. Maybe if it's bad, they'll back out instead of just zooming in and try to get out, but they're too slow. Duration 2 to 3 seconds. That's also huge. That movement speed's again like in the text. This is nice. Like a lot of people are trashing the Yuumi changes, and I've just always liked Yumi's design as a champion. A lot of people don't like it because they complain, "Oh, I can't hit her." But like, I feel like these changes also address that a lot and make it so you can actually play around it even better and not get so annoyed at it. So we'll see how that pans out. Who cares about Lux? Okay, Conquer. This is funny because duration from 8 to 6 seconds on all champions, and on range champions it was 15. Uh, Now 8% of damage dealt as healing. One thing I don't get is they're saying that range champions were abusing the Conquer duration. Well, what I don't know why they didn't just wait. I'm not sure why they didn't make what? Okay. Why are you saying things, Ali? Oh wait, okay. So I don't understand why they made the Conquer not 8 seconds on melee, 6 seconds for range. Because all it did was hurt a lot of users with melee. Because yeah, like sometimes you would fight, you would gank, and then you would like, oh, I'm gonna go roam around, and then you would bump into like the enemy jungler, and if the enemy jungler didn't pay attention to you having Conquer, they would get punished because you would have it on still. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because it just nerfs a lot of. I mean, it's a very niche case, but it can also be huge because maybe that's a factor on why they didn't jump on you because you still had Conquer on. Honestly, this rune is a mixed bag. Like, there's just so much. It's just pretty much usability things. Like, guys, go wild on this. Like it's just more likely to get this if it's like artificial intelligence testing. Honestly, this rune it's just trying to read your mind. This is just changes they did from last patch. I mean, I pretty much already talked about all this stuff. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if I talked about this. Well, they did this after. But I mean, this was last patch. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with. Any damage from blah blah blah. I like that they buffed turrets. That was a good change because it makes funneling harder to do and focusing towers harder to do. Why is element of reference reduced intensity? Just small things. Um, there were some bug fixes that were actually pretty interesting. Where are they? Oh, that's the room 10%. It's this one. So the interesting fixes is Elder Soul, Dragon Soul empowered can no longer execute chambers to pass that make them uncharted with abilities. So I think this was killing like Zac and Anivia before their passives were even proccing. So that's pretty funny. Teemo's E Toxic now properly procs Dark Harvest, so that's interesting if you play Teemo. Pet attacks now apply the aspect of the dragon from Elder Dragon. So I believe that's. I'm not sure if that's the burn of the dragon or. I think the dragon will already be in range. I'm not even sure. But I mean that's a change. Uh, that's a weird bug that Shaco one. Oh, this is a big one. Darius now does not heal from Q Decimate when hitting spell shield enemies with his axe handle. So that's interesting because well, I'm guessing it goes with like Morgana's. I'm not sure if it counts Morgana's shield. I guess so because it's a spell shield. But Banshee's Veil and you know that other AD item, that the Veil item, whatever it's called. But I'm guessing those also work. So that's also a bit a bit of a nerf to Darius, although he would probably break it with his like E. I'm not sure if his W breaks it. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope I get better soon because it sucks being sick for a whole entire week and being able to do absolutely nothing. Yep. Bye.